Can y'all believe that that 2024 is over? I still can't believe it because of multiple reasons. Because that's where WWE started to become more popular, with all the title changes, with all the storylines, and most definitely the feuds. And that's what we're gonna look at, the top 10 feuds of WWE of 2024 of WWE. So let's just get started. Number 10 is a rivalry that I really have certain feelings about, which is the rivalry of Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. Now, why do I have mixed emotions about this? Now, here it is. What is the rivalry about? The rivalry is about Drew McIntyre trying to reclaim a world title victory in front of a crowd. And the closest world title that he was ever that he was close to was Seth Rollins' world title reign. And guess what? That happened, and that happened in a very short time. But anyway, why do I have certain feelings about this? It's because that they had more title matches than non-title matches. Like, for me, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins could have fought at Bash in Berlin, but guess what? Seth Rollins was injured. And then there's more. I feel like both Drew and Seth could have fought at Money in the Bank in a triple threat match with Damian Priest as world champion. Or this could have happened if it wasn't a non-title match. To me, that would have made the rivalry escalated or just elevate more, for both Drew and Seth, and both Drew and Punk, or this triple threat rivalry. Now, what I didn't like about this is that Seth Rollins was mostly focusing on the bloodline than on Drew McIntyre. I feel like that's how he lost. But yeah, that's my number. That's why I had this at number 10. But what I do like about this is that this was a world title feud that probably no one will never forget. Number 9. This is a rivalry that I looked at I was more into the story, but I never watched the match, and that is Trick Willie versus Carmelo Hayes. Now, the thing is about this rivalry is that is the story of this rivalry. Excuse me. Is a classic tag team heel. Heel turn. We have Trick Williams starting to become more popular, and Carmelo Hayes feel like he has been overshadowed by Trick Williams. And then that's when he attacked him in the knee. He's been out for about 2 weeks or like 3 weeks. And then they had a match at Stand and Deliver. And then Trick Williams started to become more over. And then that's where Carmelo Hayes started to become removed from NXT to become, a main roster person. And that's what I really like about this rivalry. That's why I put this at number 9 instead of number 10. Now, this is considered to be one of the greatest NXT rivalries of all time. All right, number 8. This rivalry was like, and I don't know how to explain it. This was like, there were nose to nose. There were also, they just took a really long time to do this rivalry, so that they can just pull the trigger on this dude, which is Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Yeah, what I said about this is that they were like nose to nose to each other for a very long time. They were together at Money in the Bank in that ladder match. They were also close together in at Elimination Chamber because I remember LA Knight won against Ivar, and then Logan Paul beat The Miz. And guess what? I don't know if they laid a finger on each other in that Elimination Chamber match, but then that's where Kevin Owens and Randy Orton got involved with Logan Paul's business, and then AJ Styles started getting involved with LA Knight's business. Now what am I about to say about this rivalry? What I really like about the rivalry is that they just had to end Logan Paul's title reign. But anyway, they had 2 matches against each other. No, they had 1, 2, 3, 4 matches against each other, because including that triple threat match for the Money in the Bank qualifying match, and then we had the SummerSlam match, and then that's when LA Knight dethroned. That's where LA Knight dethroned Logan Paul. What time? Okay, I only had 2 minutes. Now, here's another thing that I didn't like about this rivalry, is that I feel like LA Knight could have been screwed by Logan Paul in that Money in the Bank ladder match. But overall, it was good. I have no complaints about this rivalry. Well, technically, I kind of did. Number 7, I originally put this at number 6, but I feel like I replaced this with something else. But what is currently number 7 is Monster versus Monster, Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. Now this is like so for WWE, they just did a lot of non-title feuds, and this is one of them. And this one was like, Bronson Reed was kind of being pushed on the main roster this last fall, because I remember Shinsuke was on that too, because he was having a title feud with Seth Rollins, and then they had a good match. Now this was also considered to be more of a little bit more of passing the torch a little bit, because Braun Strowman was the biggest. Yeah, he was the biggest. He was the strongest. But I feel like whenever he's gonna retire, or if they have another match, I feel like this could be more passing the torch to Bronson Reed. Yeah, and that's where and I also feel like Bronson Reed had a better rivalry with Seth Rollins than Braun Strowman. But it was just compared to being, who's more unique between Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins, and mostly Seth Rollins. But yeah, they had a good match. They had a last Monster Standing match, and I really liked it. This was also, once again, this was also a kickstart of Triple H doing non-title feuds, basically. But overall, I never had, oh yeah, there's only one complaint I only had about this rivalry, is that they never had a match at Bad Blood, and that's my complaint. They just really need to have a match at Bad Blood, and that was just my only complaint about it. Okay, number 6. Now, I originally put Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed at number 6, but there's something better. Is there something? Yeah. Okay, yeah. There's something on me real quick. In that rivalry is Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Now, they had 3 matches with each other. One of them was when he was tag team champions with Kevin Owens, and then the other one was at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. This is an outdated picture. I need to find a different picture if this ever messes up. And then third match was with Gunther as World Heavyweight Champion. Now if they ever continue this rivalry, like for another 2 or for like another year or 2, This could be considered to be one of the greatest rivalries of all time, basically. Yeah. So what this was about, there was like nothing about this. It was something classic, like the underdog, which is Sami Zayn, and then we have the top dog, Gunther, starting to become, kind of one of the best wrestlers currently. There's like nothing much about this rivalry. That's all I can just say. It was mostly more of title feuds. It was a title feud. There was also, it's something, common about this rivalry. Okay, I had to change my camera. I had to change my camera angle. I had it this way at first, but what I usually do, I always have it this way. But I never changed it. So let's talk about number 5. Now, number five is a really good rivalry. This is one of my favorite non-title feuds of 2024, which is Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade. Yes. Now compared to Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, they had never had a premium live event match. Same for Gunther versus Sammy. That was my complaint about it. But what was good about this rivalry is that they just kept going and going and going until they had like 7 matches, but they never finished their game 7. Now that's where I thought that Carmelo Hayes was going to dethrone LA Knight. But until there was something else, Jacob Fatu. We're going to talk about that in a later video. But yeah, they were both getting pushed into the mid card division. And what else? Oh yeah, about that premium live event match with them is that they could have had a Iron Man match, like in a 30-minute or 15-minute Iron Man match. That would have been one of the best matches, probably of 2024 if they ever had it. Cuatro, number 4. Number 4. This rivalry is still going on, and they're gonna have a match on January 6th, which is going to be on Netflix, obviously. And no, it's not Seth Rollins versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. No, this is not the other match that's going to be on Raw on Netflix. It is this match. Well, this rivalry. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. This also represents a faction rivalry, which is the new bloodline versus the OG bloodline. Now, what is this rivalry about? Okay. So after Roman lost at WrestleMania 40, Solo Sikoa claimed himself as tribal chief. He started adding new members. He started kicking out Paul Heyman and Jimmy Uso, and that was it until Roman came back at SummerSlam and attacked Solo Sikoa, and that was it. And what else? Now they had 3 matches. They had 3 tag matches against each other, and those matches were Roman and Cody taking on Solo and Jacob Fatu, which is like a Mega Powers and the Mega Bucks forming, and then there's also the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. Now this was like a 3-on-3 match with Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa versus Roman, Jay, and Jimmy. And then they had another match at War Games. This one was involved with Sami Zayn and CM Punk. And then for the new Bloodline, this was involved with Tonga Loa and Bronson Reed. And now they're gonna have in 2 days they're gonna have a match at on Raw, which is gonna be on Netflix, and let's just see if this will be better than Jay and Roman, because I was like, I heard everybody didn't like that match at all. Number 3, this was considered to be a non-title feud, but also a title feud because they were at the same level, and that rivalry is Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. Now, what was this rivalry about? This rivalry was about Rhea Ripley injuring both Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, and then when Liv Morgan came back and Raquel Rodriguez came back, they were like on different sides basically, because they were both wrestling against each other in the Elimination Chamber match. And then Liv Morgan attacked Rhea Ripley in the shoulder after the Raw after WrestleMania, and then Rhea Ripley had to relinquish her title due to injury, and then oh wait, I actually haven't told you. When Liv Morgan came back at the Royal Rumble, she failed because Bayley won, and then what's her name? When Liv Morgan entered the Elimination Chamber, Becky won, and she failed. And then, once again, when Rhea Ripley relinquished her title, there was a battle royal, and Becky won instead of Liv Morgan. But then she had a different strategy in just to challenge Becky Lynch for the World Women's Championship, and Dominic helped, and that's how she won the championship. And then all of a sudden, we see Liv Morgan kissing Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley's boyfriend, out of nowhere. This was like off camera too. And then when Rhea Ripley came back, she started taking control of the Judgment Day a little bit, Dominic Mysterio, and that was it. And then they had a match at SummerSlam. Dominic turned on Rhea Ripley to join Liv Morgan's side, and then they had a tag match with Dom and Liv versus Damian and Rhea, and then that also considered to have another title match against Liv Morgan with Liv Morgan. But this time we had Dominic Mysterio in a shark cage. But that didn't work because Raquel Rodriguez came back to help Liv Morgan. And then now we have the new Judgment Day. And then now we're going to have a match on Raw on Netflix. And that was it. Oh yeah, they also had a War Games match on Survivor Series. And then Rhea Ripley pinned Liv Morgan, and then I'm about to burp. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, Rhea Ripley pinned Liv Morgan, and then that's how she got her title match on Raw on Netflix. And we'll see this rivalry continue? Probably not, and most likely it will. It might drag. Number 2. I put this at number 2 only because I have something else at number 1. You can flip this, but I'm only putting Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk at 2 because I have something else, and you guys may know what it is. So what was this rivalry? This rivalry was mostly about Drew McIntyre costing CM Punk's his dream to main event WrestleMania. Yeah. So what happened was that when CM Punk came back, he was cleared to be the favorite. Same for Drew McIntyre before CM Punk came back. So let's talk about the Royal Rumble. So when they both face each other at the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre injured his arm. Yeah. And CM Punk eliminated Drew McIntyre from the Royal Rumble. Now, the Royal Rumble after no, the Raw after the Royal Rumble, they started fighting, and then that's when the feud actually started happening. And what else? Oh yeah, on at WrestleMania, CM Punk was commentating, was being a special guest comment. He was, dang it, I'm doing it again. Please help me, y'all. He was being a commentary for Drew versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40. Sorry, y'all. I'm doing that again. I'm very, very sorry. Okay, let's talk about that rivalry. So Drew McIntyre won the World Heavyweight Championship, and then Drew McIntyre started getting all in his face, and then that's where CM Punk just cost him his world title, and then cashed in, and then Damian Priest cashed in on Drew McIntyre and became World Heavyweight Champion. And then Drew McIntyre tried again by winning the the Money in the Bank ladder match, and then he cashed in on the same night, and then it was wasted. And the only reason why it was wasted because of CM Punk. And then that's where the rivalry was like, okay, this rivalry is getting a lot more fun. This rivalry is getting a lot more interesting, and everything. And then they had their first match, their first one-on-one match. It was on SummerSlam. For a special guest referee was Seth Rollins. And then they had another match. Oh yeah, Drew McIntyre won the first match against it at SummerSlam. And then we had no special guest referee. It was a strap match with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. CM Punk won that one. And then we had a Hell in a Cell match, which is one of the greatest matches of 2024. And CM Punk won that match. Now, the rivalry was ended, and we might see this rivalry continue on, but we might have Seth Rollins involved. It might be a triple threat match, and we might see this. Do you guys think so? Let's just see what happens in 2025. Okay, we're on the final rivalry, and my number one was Cody Rhodes. Whoa, not that. It was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Now, what was this rivalry about? Now, you guys remember last year that I didn't put this at my top 10 favorite rivalries of 2024 because they didn't do that much. Because Cody and Kevin was getting more of the popularity out of Roman Reigns. Well, from Roman Reigns instead of Cody Rhodes. But this rivalry was mostly about Cody Rhodes trying to finish his story for his father because, his father never won the World Championship because his father had the title and he was taken away from him. And what else? And another thing about this rivalry, they had a good match. And my battery's about to die, but let me do this real quick. So they had a match at WrestleMania 39, but Solo interfered in the match, and then Roman Reigns won. And then when Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble by eliminating CM Punk, he pointed to Roman Reigns, and then that's where it all happened. And then we had The Rock involved, and we also had Seth Rollins involved. And when the final boss happened, that's where the rivalry started to become a lot better. That's like the only reason why I put this at number one. They showed more story. They're only focused on Cody Rhodes and Roman, just being that only rivalry. And at WrestleMania 40, that's where the whole Avengers Endgame happened. We had John Cena, we had Seth Rollins, we had main event Jey Uso, and then out of nowhere, boom, The Undertaker happened. Excuse me. Yeah, and then that's where Cody Rhodes finished his story. And then later, they had stare downs. They're a tag team with each other. This is very crazy. Alright, y'all, that is the end of the video. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below and tell me what is your favorite rivalry of 2024. Give this video a like, subscribe to Most Hyper's Lovers, and I'll see you guys next time in another video. Later, guys.